Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing good. Um, I wanted to come up here and share my experience that I had yesterday in the redwoods in Northern California. Those are the giant trees that are like 1,000 or 2,000 years old, and I mean I've seen them before when I was in San Francisco back in 2008, and I was really amazed with those trees. And but I haven't really connected, to them until this year. And so when I went there yesterday, I didn't really have much time to just sit and listen, but I did have a couple of moments where I was able to connect to the trees. And so the first time I was just standing in the parking area. It was a little parking area with just several cars in the middle of the forest. And I've been just standing and questioning, like, where, like I was saying in my head, like, where did you guys come from? Because the size of those trees are, it just doesn't logically, your mind cannot comprehend it, like just where, like how do those creatures even exist on this earth, like they're just so different. And when I asked that in my head, I heard, telepathically they were talking to me, and they said, we're not from here. We're not from the earth. They said that they were brought here to the earth, and they are galactic basically. They were brought to the earth and they were planted in Northern California and Southern Oregon, and I think they're also in South America somewhere as well. So they said they were planted in areas that were, good for them in terms of climate, and they were able to grow there. And then they also said how they remind us, like a lot of us, when we're in those types of forests, we feel home. For example, for me, it was this feeling of being a child again, just walking through the woods, like in a fairy tale. You see those forests usually in the movies. The one that comes to mind for me is Avatar, where those giant trees were everywhere, and they were connecting to them, like plugging into source, and connecting to the trees. When so for me it kind of feels like home, the home planet, I would say. And they said like that's how it was in Lemuria and other places, the whole, like for example, Lemuria, those trees and those forests were everywhere. It was not just like one part of, the planet. They were like occupying everything. That's how the forests, looked like. So that was really amazing to hear that information. And and then I was there with my friend, and my friend told me that those trees are different in the way that they're growing. So they don't have really deep root system like a lot of trees. And I mean, those trees, well, I don't know how tall they are, but they're like, I mean, I don't know, like 30 stories high, maybe even more. I mean, you can look it up. I don't really know. I mean, I just know that, for example, in I don't know in feet, but I know like in meters, they could be up to like 10 meters in diameter or even more. So you can, like, I mean, I don't know if it's 100 meters tall or even higher than that. And so my friend told me that in order for them to, like, be rooted and stuff, because they don't have a really deep roots, they interlock the roots, the trees. And the way they're growing is that it would be like a double, like a twin tree a lot of times, like one trunk and then like the one root and like stump and then two trunks, or it would be like 5 or 6 of them a lot of times. So that kind of makes sense because they interlock the root system so they connect to each other so they can be strong and they can withstand anything. And then I saw like it was 5 or 6 trees together, growing together. Like again was one stump and then several trunks, and then one of the trees was destroyed by fire, from lightning, and it was maybe like only 10 meters high or so. And then the tree next to that, again growing out of the same stump, it like maybe 10 meters or so up from the ground. The next 30 meters or so were completely hollow trunk. And the bark only was like half of the bark was like creating a half circle. So for like 30 meters or so, there's nothing in the middle and only like half of the oval of a full circle, with the bark. Now, on that bark, there are branches growing, and then above, like, that hollow part, the tree was normal. Again, it was damaged, destroyed by lightning, and it was a normal tree. It was like perfectly healthy. So when you look at something like that, I mean, you're really amazed, like, how does that happen, And then again, my friend said that apparently they feed from the bark. They don't feed from the inside of the trunk, which is really interesting. So again, when you look at something like this, you're like, oh my God, they were made to withstand a lot of things. And then as we walked further, I saw this trees that I really felt pulled to connect to, and the way I connect to the trees, I, hug the tree and I make sure my heart is closed or on the tree, and then my third eye is actually touching the tree, and that's how I, you know, exchange the knowledge and wisdom with the tree through the third eye. So when I did that with that tree, and that tree was like massive, I was channeling information from the tree, and the tree told me that, I mean, the second I connected, I just wanted to cry. I was very emotional. I just felt like this guilt for humanity and for people, how people do not honor and respect nature, and especially the trees, because on my way to the coast yesterday, we saw like several mountains where there's like clear cutting going on, and it always breaks my heart to see that. I was like, when are we gonna stop doing that? We're like destroying everything just so another person can have their like beautiful mansion. It's like, what the hell? Like, people just need to downgrade, like, they build those houses and stuff, like, and destroy everything. um so yeah, I was like, it was very emotional, just knowing that people destroy everything, and especially those trees. And then I heard the tree told me that it didn't have to worry about them. They said that they were made to withstand anything on this earth. So the garbage or the way people treat them is not going to destroy them, or even like, the lightning. They were made to withstand it. The only thing that they said would destroy them is the saw, like when people would come and cut them. That's the only time when they could be destroyed. So they said not to worry about anything. They also said not to feel guilty or, shame, or be like upset or sad about it, because they said they said we know the ones who are coming here with peace and love and who are here to support us. They said we know who you are, and so there's no reason to feel the shame and the guilt. Um, and they also said that they're not going anywhere, that they're here to stay, that they will be that they're here to help us and, humanity, and that we would see more of them starting to grow in other areas, not just Northern California and Southern Oregon. Um, And then when I was done with that, I saw like the new leaves growing out of the trunk, and when I touched the leaves, they were like plastic. It's like a plastic Christmas tree. So when you touch it, you're like, oh my God, like they are really made to withstand anything, because those leaves do not burn really well. And I actually heard on the news a couple of weeks ago, like I just heard from someone that the redwoods in Northern California, where the fires were happening, the redwoods were able to withstand the fire. They were not damaged. So this is again proof how they are not from here. They're galactic. They were made to withstand things. As I was walking further in the woods, I came to this area where it was 5 or 6 trees in the circle, growing in the circle, and I was approaching the area. My crown chakra was like so active, and it's like I was really dizzy. I was really dizzy from the energy. It was so high vibration. It was really insane. I haven't experienced anything like that before. So I was kind of guided to spend more time in this area. So I sat down on one of the trunks, um, and I just tuned in, and yeah. And after that, my whole body was vibrating, really vibrating, and I was feeling like I was pulled up. So the trees are normally grounding, like where you feel grounded and connected to earth. Well, with those trees, I actually felt like I was being lifted up, like my through the crown chakra, I was being connected to source. So those trees for me was a different experience. It was not grounding; it was actually connecting you to source. And then and then I went further, and they have really beautiful trunks. So like the trees that fell from the storms, or they were just old, the trunks are so beautiful. And again, there's a big trunk that would be considered a dead tree, and I put my hand on there and I did some light language, and again, like after just several seconds holding my hand there, I felt so much vibration. My whole body was full of it. And so, yeah, the whole experience was kind of a lot of puzzle pieces, I guess, came together for me with the trees, and to further understand the connection and what we're doing. And they also gave me a personal message for me and my work in that area um, as a grid worker and a gatekeeper. So it was um, it was very interesting experience. Again, I've been working with trees for quite a while now, but I've never experienced anything like that before. So I just wanted to share, and just so maybe some of you experience something similar, or if you're being pulled to go to the redwoods, maybe try doing that and see what you get, because again, it's mind blowing. And I also wanted to do this as a follow up to my other post where um, I shared my work with the trees that were burned by the fires and lightning in the area where I live. It was not recent fires; it was fires that happened throughout many years, and the trees are still standing and alive and like healthy. So but yeah, I kind of wanted to share that too. So yeah, if you want to share your story, or if you want to comment on this experience, I would love to hear what you have to say, because I was totally blown away by this yesterday, and I just wanted to share this because I know so many of you feel this deep connection to the trees, but um, yeah, those trees are totally different, the totally different connections than regular trees. That's what it felt like to me. And was very galactic. It was very beautiful. So yeah, I hope you're having a really good day. If I don't see you or record anything before the weekend, I wish you a very happy Labor Day. Hope you get to go in nature and enjoy nature and enjoy your time with your family, or if you're going by yourself, just enjoying your time in nature. Yeah, love you all.